Today, gonna be doing a teardown on one of these Taotronics ultrasonic humidifiers. And the problem with this particular one was it wasn't powering on and on. That was actually due to a loose internal cable that's inside this here. I was able to actually fix it, but I'm gonna go and just do a complete teardown and show you how one of these works. I don't recommend using these ultrasonic humidifiers because they tend to over humidify a certain area, but they don't do a good job in spraying out like one of these guys that I got right there next to my bird stand. But these here are kind of junk and a waste of time, and I'll explain that maybe later on, but I want to show you how one of these actually works. This here is the interior view of the Taotronics ultrasonic humidifier, and pretty much I'll just go over a breakdown of a little bit of what everything does in here before I go and completely tear it down. But overall, this here is the AC-DC power supply, which converts the AC line to DC voltage at a lower voltage so it can power all the electronics and so forth. But I do like the attention details. They went ahead and housed this in its own plastic housing, so if water were to get in here, it wouldn't get directly onto the power supply right away. So that's a nice attention to detail there. Here's your front panel buttons and display panel. Could have the processor on, I'm not sure until I take it out. Here's your actual transducer driver right here, which this is the driver that drives circuitry that drives this transducer. Pretty much how ultrasonic works is it runs at a higher voltage and it actually does a high frequency sound wave to this piezo element right here, therefore atomizing the water. When it atomizes the water, it sits right here, and what happens is you do got a cheap DC fan I see they use. It actually goes ahead and blows air through this hole here. Just make sure you don't get water down into that, otherwise it's gonna get right into electronics. But once it does that, it mixes the mist plus with the air into this tube right here in the bottom of the reservoir. Comes up this tube out this vent hole right here, and that's what actually outputs your mist. But pretty much easy on how one of these works. It just uses sound waves at a high vibration, therefore atomizing the water, then use the fan to blow air, mix with that mix, and then out the hole it goes pretty much. So I'm gonna go and tear one of these really down. So I'm gonna go take apart this power supply, transducer, and everything apart and stuff like that, and I'll get back to you once I'm done. This here is the transducer with the driver itself. This is the ultrasonic. And then here you go, there's the driver. And you can see the rest of the capacitors and resistors on this board. There's even a jumper right here. This here is the fuse, and the fuse is on this side mounted on the heatsink. And yes, this is metal. It acts as a heatsink to help cool this transducer down, but that's one reason why you don't want to run these without water, because the water helps cool this piezo element here, otherwise it'll just open up. And I didn't want to take it all the way up because it's just sealed right there, so I didn't want to risk that. And then here's the part number right there. So here you go. And then we'll take a look at the other critical part, which is the fan itself. And for those that need the part number of the fan, then here you go. They're just using a cheap DC brushless fan pretty much. I don't know if this is barbarian or not. I'll have to look up that part number. But then you can see the rest of it. I'll go and take the cover off this power supply and show you that too. Here's the power supply out of this housing here. For those that want to see the part number, there you go. And as you can see, this capacitor here is actually starting to vent. This is actually a brand new humidifier pretty much, and it's already starting to vent. It's like, I wonder what the ESR test on that capacitor, but here's the underside of it. And you do got good separation there, and then you got your isolation slots there. And then here's the rest of the components on there. You can see the brand capacitor they use, which is probably some cheap shit from the Chinese market that they could get that day. But overall, here's an overview of the power supply pretty much. And then here's what's making all that noise in the background that you're hearing pretty much. She was just going grab stuff and stuff, so if you hear some noise or ruffling and stuff, that was her. She kind of wants attention, wants to know what I'm doing. Normally I give her attention during this time, so that's why she's kind of trying everything to get my attention pretty much. Right, baby? Okay. Don't worry, I'll give you attention once I'm done with this video. How about that, alright? You want to say hello? Nothing? Nothing? Okay. This here is the front panel processor that controls the display and also the unit itself. There's really not much else interesting on this board. It's just a bunch of buttons, a capacitor, and display on this board. So no point in trying to pry this out to get it out to break it. Here's the LED for the tank light, which then goes through here pretty much. It's just a simple LED. And then right through here is actually your sensor for the water level right there. So pretty much this is what's left of the machine. There's really not much else to it. Here's a closer look at the humidity sensor, and you got your humidity sensor, just a diode and a resistor there. It's pretty simple pretty much. And just to give you a quick demonstration on how one of these actually make a mist, went ahead and filled some water up so the float sensor goes up, and just watch that piezoelectronic really quick because it'll be really quick. And you can see there it just vibrates, and that's what creates your mist, and then the fan would help guide this mist with the air coming from there up the tube, which will cause it to go out the vent, of course. But it's pretty straightforward. This just vibrates, and from vibration causes it to itemize, and then this helps guide the mist up the tube pretty much. That's all it is. And this part is for bird owners that is looking to get a good humidifier for their bird room, because I know there's a lot of questions on different forums, because I went on a lot of those forums trying to find one myself, which is the best humidifier to use in my bird room. This one by far. I used over 30 different ones. I used ultrasonic one, warm mist one, vaporizer. I used everything in different brands, different companies, and by far this one's outdone them all. This one can actually bring up the humidity 30% over what the current humidity during the winter time with absolutely no problem, and do it evenly, which is important, because ultrasonic unit ones don't do it evenly. They do a small section, over humidify that section, but they really don't do a good job in larger rooms or apartments or whatever else. They're really pretty much useless. They're only good for nightstand humidifiers. These here do it in a more natural way and do a good job in doing it evenly and stuff, and I had zero problems with this guy and with other ones, because I have two other ones that I use in other locations and stuff that's done pretty well over the years. I know a lot of vets tell you, go ahead and get the warm mist one, and what they mean by warm mist was they're actually talking about vaporizers which used electrodes in there, because the warm mist ones are bad for your birds because they got what you call Teflon on the elements of the Teflon. Once it's overheat, can release the poisonous gas to your birds and kill your birds instantly. So stay away from warm mist humidifiers. If you have to go with a warm mist one, go over vaporizer. They use the electrodes in the water, and those are usually generally pretty safe. But as far as, you know, the ones that use a heating element, they're going to be dangerous, and they could potentially kill your bird when they decide to overheat. And they eventually will overheat and go out, because our heating elements eventually fail over time, so I just would not trust those in a bird room. Now, the ones I do recommend are these. They do it naturally, and no, the humidity is not 69. It's actually at 57 currently on my humidity monitor in the back. But the reason why that reads high is because they went ahead and put the sensor right behind the unit on a short cord, which I wish they didn't, because of course the humidity could be higher right around where the filter is. But well, there goes China for you pretty much. They don't really, the engineers don't actually think properly on how to design one of these properly. I wish they put it underneath the unit, or at least made a one that's longer where you can maneuver where you want to, then you don't gotta worry about that, but it is what it is.